Rate and support the show. Well, he didn't say I couldn't dislike it. That's a very interesting picture. I wonder who's gonna win.
The Ninja Turtles arcade game became an instant classic after showing up in arcades everywhere in the 1980s. For fans and gamers alike, it was a video game masterpiece. The graphics were awesome, the levels were fun as hell,
Can you maybe elaborate a little?
and the icing on the cake was that you and 3 other people could play all 4 turtles all at the same time.
Four-player co-op, that is a pretty cool feature, I guess.
This was the coolest feature of this entire game, fighting alongside 3 strangers who all fought for a single purpose.
I think when I would go to play that game, I think I'd rather have my friends with me instead of just three strangers.
To beat down old Shredhead. Of course, in order to get the Shredder, you'd have to hack and slash your way through tons of foot soldiers. But
Just like every other side-scrolling action-adventure beat-em-up that was in arcades, you know, you'd have to beat the main enemies of the game before you get to the final boss.
getting there was half the fun. This game right here was everything a Turtles fan could ask for.
So that one game is the only thing a Turtles fan could ask for, not the show, not the comics, not any other Turtles games, just that one game.
In fact, the only bad thing I could say about this game is that you died just a little too quickly.
It's called a challenge.
Oh yeah, the infamous shell shock. Who could forget that sound?
Well, if you didn't die a lot, then it'd be pretty forgettable, but you'd have to die a lot for it to be unforgettable.
Even dying was cool as shit. Hell, if every game was like this one, I'd be out of a job.
No, if every game was like that one, gaming would be extremely boring and repetitive.
A few months later, they decided to release a Ninja Turtles game for the Nintendo system. After such an awesome arcade game, this one was highly anticipated. But just hold the fucking phone here,
Okay, I got my phone.
because this was far from the game anyone expected. In fact, it was downright terrible. Upon starting the game, you'll find yourself walking around the city. 5 seconds? It's gonna be some kind of record.
Wow, it only took me 5 seconds to suicide. And yeah, I know this isn't a watch, I don't care.
Alright, let's try this again. You find yourself walking around the city, and they end up giving you this weird overhead view of the character until you go down into the sewers. But instead of this game being 4 players, they decided to scale it back to a 1-player game.
How many NES games do you know that are 4 players?
And you can switch out any of the 4 turtles whenever you feel like it by pressing the select button. Each turtle has the exact same abilities, and there's no difference between them except their weapon.
Which, since their weapons all do different attacks, that does give them kind of a different feel of gameplay.
Both Donatello and Leonardo end up becoming the most powerful characters since they both use long-range weapons, so odds are you'll be using them the most.
Actually, when I played that game, I saved Donatello for like the mini bosses and the bosses to kill them off quickly, and I used Leonardo and Michelangelo quite a bit.
But this also means they'll probably be the first to die.
Well, if you keep suiciding like that, then yeah, they will die pretty quick.
And when you're down to just Raphael and Michelangelo, who are both poor fighters, you might as well just turn off the game right now, because it's only a matter of time before you get your ass handed back to you on a plate.
If you keep suiciding, you might as well turn off the game, which you keep doing. And Raphael and Michelangelo aren't that bad, unless you like don't know how to play the game. And yeah, they're not as good as Leonardo or Donatello, but they're not that bad.
Fuck!
You did see how many times he ran into that enemy, forcing him to take damage, right? That was him causing damage on himself, like him running into the enemy, causing damage on himself.
I hate this game! Now let's talk about stage bosses, because this game has some real winners. You know you have a great game on your hands when the ending boss just stands in the corner while you beat the living shit out of him.
No, that's when you know you have an easy game on your hands, which means it's probably not that fun because there's not much of a challenge.
But if you think that's bad, then check this out. Choose Donatello, jump on the crates to the right, and just beat him with your bow. And for some reason, he only gets hurt when he ducks down lower than he already was. Doesn't this defy some law of physics?
A lot of people have already pointed that out.
It kind of reminds me of this rooftop bullshit. Jump from the wrong place, and you go falling to the ground.
That is kind of the point, isn't it?
Ugh. Now let's try this again. Oh, come on, are you kidding me? Finally! Now some of these levels have way too many enemies to fight off.
I know Irategamer commentary already pointed this out in his commentary of this video, but I'm going to point it out. You could have just used Donatello's bow to get past that part with its long range.
And the real shit shocker is after you kill all the bad guys and turn around, they all magically reappear! What the fucking shit?
There are actually quite a bit of NES games that do that, you know that, right?
Now I've got to kill them all again? And talking about enemies, what the fuck is up with the enemy selection in this game anyway? Eyeball plants? Rocket pack flyers? Guys on fire? Do you ever remember seeing these guys from the cartoon? Because I sure the hell don't.
I think that game was based off the comics, not the show.
Either that, or else I missed the episode where Leatherface comes to visit. I'm not sure who the hell was in charge of designing the enemies, but I'm pretty sure it might have been the same jackass who designed the levels. Damn it! Just what the fuck were they thinking when they placed a pizza box way down here?
To see who would be dumb enough to try and get it.
Now, just how the hell am I supposed to get to this in time? If I go for it, I end up dying. So
And my point proven.
what's the reason for this? What a bunch of Aspergers with a side of fries! And who the hell could forget the infamous underwater level? I guarantee that anyone who's ever played this game has been probably scarred by the painful memories of trying to pass this nightmare of a level. First off, they give you a little over 2 minutes to try and disarm 8 bombs.
Some bombs do have like a certain time before they explode. And I guess 2 minutes and 20 seconds is the time limit for those bombs.
Now, if you're just allowed to disarm the bombs, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, it would, because then that would take away the challenge and make the game boring if you were just sitting there swimming, then you disarm the bomb, then you just swim straight to the next bomb, disarm that, and it'd be boring without any obstacles.
But instead, they had to make it much more challenging.
That is the point of video games, right? You know, to make them challenging and fun.
And they made it challenging, alright. They made it damn near fucking impossible. They ended up filling this level with all kinds of shit.
To offer obstacles to make the game a little bit more challenging, to make it a little bit more fun. God, that probably sounded creepy the way I said that.
Electric wires, killer plants, rotating spikes, electrical seaweed? God, the electrical fucking seaweed. Just touch it and you get massively drained of energy.
That's only if you stay in the seedweed too long, which you do in this game review.
Ugh, you guys suck.
No, you suck.
And if that wasn't enough, in this section, they leave only a small space for you to try and swim through. Now in any other game, I probably could have taken my time to swim through it safely. But, oh, I'm sorry, I've only got 1 more minute to disarm 6 more fucking bombs. I don't have time to deal with this bullshit.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is that you don't want to take your time, period. You were purposely getting hit by the seaweed and blaming the seaweed itself. Well, this is probably a good stopping point because I don't want to make this video too long. Well, stay tuned for part 2.